So the seventh step of Eightfold Path is the right awareness. And here Buddha says that we need to be aware of the four aspects of ourselves. We need to be aware of our body, we need to be aware of our sensation in the body, we need to be aware of the mind, and then we need to be aware of the mental content or dhammas, right? And then he puts two conditions on top of it. He says that just mere awareness of these phenomena, just mere awareness of the thoughts and emotion or mere awareness of sensation is not enough. There has to be two more conditions on top of it. The first is that you have to be aware of these phenomena with the wisdom of impermanence, right? And the second is you have to be aware of these phenomena without any kind of craving and aversion, right? So we need to be aware of these four aspects, and we need to be aware of them with the wisdom of impermanence and without any kind of craving and aversion. Okay. So the first is to be aware of the body. Yeah. So here Buddha says we need to be aware of the body within the body, right? So it's not some kind of understanding. It's not anatomical understanding of the body. This is the bones and this is how it works. Buddha is saying you actually have to observe the body. You actually have to see within your own body what is the nature of your body, right? And there are few ways he mentioned you can observe the body. One is you can observe the breath. Breath is a part of the body. Like this is the nature of the breath, right? And ultimately he comes to the same conclusion, right? There's one underlying dhamma, one underlying reality that he wants us to observe, right? And it is the same in all the four different aspects, right? So he says observe your breath, and ultimately you are going to find breath is arising, breath is passing, and then breath is arising and passing very quickly, right? Another way you can observe the body is through what he calls dhatu, which is more like anatomy. This is the bones, this is the muscles, this is the blood, and all this sort of stuff. And you observe them within your own body and you see their nature. And he says ultimately you will come to the conclusion of these different dhatus. They are arising, they are passing, they are arising, passing at the same time, right? So ultimately you will go through these three realizations, right? Another way to observe the body can be through fundamental elements, right? So this is made out of earth, this is made out of fire, this is made out of water, etc., right? So you observe them within yourself. Okay, this is the fire element inside myself, this is the water element inside myself, and all that, right? And ultimately will come to the same conclusion of arising, passing, the ultimate dhamma that Buddha wants us to realize. Okay, so this is the observing the body within the body. The next is the observing sensation within the sensation. And here Buddha says when you observe the sensation within the sensation, you are going to find there is a pleasant sensation, there is a painful sensation, and there are neutral sensation, right? And ultimately you will realize the same thing. The sensation arises, that sensation passes, and then sensation arises and passes at the same moment, right? So that is the sensation, observing the sensation within the sensation. Third one is the observing mind within the mind. And in terms of the mind, you observe that currently the mind is full of craving, now there is no craving in the mind. Currently mind is full of aversion, now there is no aversion in the mind. Currently the mind is full of delusion, now there is no delusion. Currently the mind is expensive, now it is not expensive. Currently the mind is scattered, now it is collected. All these different phenomena of the mind, right? And ultimately you come to the same realization. It is arising, it is passing, it is arising, passing at the same moment. And then the final aspect is dhammas. The final aspect is mental content. And here you observe different nature of the mind. So there are different things that arises in the mind. One of them can be the five hindrances. That currently mind is dull, now mind is not dull. Currently mind is agitated, now mind is not agitated. Again, you are not trying to solve them, right? Or not, and neither you are trying to understand them. Buddha wants us to observe them within themselves, right? As a reality, right? Currently the mind is full of dullness, and this is the nature of the dullness, and now the dullness has arisen, and the fundamental reality and the fundamental dhamma is now the dullness has gone away, right? And then ultimately we'll see more with the sharper awareness how rapidly this is coming and going, right? It's not just one block of dullness that has arisen and gone. This like underlying that one block, there is like very rapid coming and going that is happening, arising and passing that is happening, right? So one of the dhammas, one of the mental content can be these five hindrances. The dullness has arisen, the agitation has arisen and gone away. The craving has arisen, the doubt has arisen, and then aversion has arisen and come and go. And arisen and passed away, right? So this is one kind of a mental content, one kind of a dhamma that we can observe. Another one is five aggregates. The Buddha says it's your mind seems to be like one mind, but it's not like one block again. It's if you observe more clearly, and you have to observe it again. You don't have to understand it. If you observe, you will find it's made out of like four big compartments. One part of mind is just recognize things. Another part of the mind actually judges those things and give the conclusion whether I like it or not like it. And another part is like observe the sensation, what kind of sensation I am feeling right now, and another part is reacting to that sensation, right? So you observe these different phenomena, you observe these phenomena within the mind, and then again you realize the same thing. It is arising and it is passing, it is arising and passing away, right? So these are the four different aspects that Buddha wants our awareness to be established in, right? Currently our awareness is completely externalized, right? We are aware of what is happening outside, we are aware of the different news, different people, what people are doing, what is happening, but we don't have so much awareness of what is happening inside, right? And Buddha wants us to take our awareness from outside and put it inside, right? And observe these different phenomena and their nature. And ultimately, their non-personal nature, right? This is just the body, and this is the nature of the body. There is not like anything personal about it. This is the mind, this is the nature of the mind, and this is just the mind, right? This is how it works, and there isn't really anything very personal about it.